By installing this immobilizer device to my car, I am now able to control the immobilizer of the vehicle completely wirelessly, and I do that using this transmitter tag, which I just need to keep on me at all times. Now every time when I approach the car, the immobilizer system knows that it's me, so it will automatically turn off the immobilizer so that it can be started. The wireless control is definitely one huge advantage of using and installing an immobilizer device like this to your car, yes. Because being able to turn the immobilizer on and off without having to press a button is extremely convenient. But of course, the highest level of security that this immobilizer device provides when installed to your car would not be possible without another supported feature, and that is anti-hijacking. Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hello and welcome to the channel, and I hope you like today's video. If you like car technology content, then hit that subscribe button because that's what you're going to see on this channel. In today's video, I'm going to be installing and reviewing another one of these PKE style immobilizers. I have reviewed these type of immobilizer devices before on this channel, and I've also installed quite a few of them on other cars as well. And I honestly love these immobilizer devices. They are a fantastic security device to have for any car. However, I have never actually installed this particular brand of immobilizer before. I know this brand name very well, yes, and that is of course Spy, but I didn't realize they offered a standalone PKE immobilizer like this in their range. If you haven't heard of Spy before, they are a well-known car security company in China, and they sell quite an interesting range of car tech devices as well. And not only for car security either, they also sell other car tech products as well. I know a lot of you like these car tech security device videos on this channel, so today I have another one for you. Okay, so this is the Spy IM103 Immobiliser. This is a universal immobilizer device, so it can be installed onto any type of vehicle, but of course it will need to be installed by someone who has a good understanding of how a car's electrical system works as well. It's not hard to install, but only when you know how to do it, of course. This immobilizer system uses a wireless form of communication to activate and deactivate the immobilizer of your car. And the way that works is first you have this, the main control unit, which needs to be hardwired into your car's electrical system. This is then controlled using these, the transmitter tags, which communicate with the main control unit on a frequency band of 2.4 gigahertz and have an approximate range of up to 5 meters. So while these transmitter tags are in the communication range of the main control unit, the car will remain not immobilized. But as soon as you walk away from the car with the transmitter tag and you become out of the communication range, the car will then become immobilized. And that's one of the coolest features about these PKE type of immobilizers, because as long as you keep the transmitter tag on you at all times, there will never be anything you need to do to activate or deactivate the immobilizer, because it's all done wirelessly. So to immobilize your car, all you do is walk away from the car, and to turn the immobilizer off again, all you do is walk back to the car. Now, yes, this immobilizer system does also support anti-hijacking as well. So if someone tries to hijack your car off you at knife or gunpoint, providing you have the transmitter tag on you, they are not going to get very far when they attempt to drive off in your car. So these are the transmitter tags, and yes, they are just tags, electronic tags, and nothing more. As you can see, there are no buttons built into either side of them, and that is because they are not a remote control fob at all. However, they still are battery powered. They're actually powered up off a CR2032 3-volt battery, just like this. And they are also a low power consumption device as well. They only draw about 16 milliamps when operating, and as I said above, they also have a communication range of up to 5 meters as well. And now we come back to this, the main control unit itself, which of course is also the receiver. The main control unit is designed for cars with a 12-volt power supply only, and it consists of only 5 wires. However, an external buzzer and LED are also supplied with it as well, which will also need to be connected for visual and audible alerts. One good design feature with the Spy Immobilizer in particular is the all-black wiring that has been used. If you are experienced with installing car alarms, then this is nothing you haven't seen before. So you will already know the black wiring is a common design feature with the top quality car alarm systems and is used for added security, making the car alarms harder to bypass as there are no colors on the wires for car thieves to use. And this is also a design feature that is generally required with all the insurance companies as well. So to install this immobilizer, you need to do it using these numbers here that are written on these silver tags on the wires themselves, which of course are 1 to 5. Wire number 1 needs to be connected to a good chassis ground. Wire number 2 is one of your relay outputs, this meaning it's one of the wires you connect to your desired point of immobilization. Yes, this tiny and very thin immobilizer device actually does have a built-in relay inside it as well. And while there are no physical specs written on the relay, my guess would be it's probably only rated at about 15 amps at 12 volts. So for that reason, you would not want to immobilize anything that draws high current, for example, the ignition or fuel pump directly. When I say directly, I mean you should really immobilize the relay input that drives the device you're trying to immobilize instead. So for example, immobilizing the fuel pump's power supply directly at the fuel pump itself would be a very bad idea, as a fuel pump can draw very high current. So while it may work, it won't work for long before it burns out the immobilizer relay contacts inside the immobilizer device itself. So you need to immobilize the fuel pump relay input instead. And when I say input, I mean the wire that goes from the ECU to the coil of the fuel pump relay, not the contacts of the relay. If you don't understand what that means, then I would highly recommend you get this immobilizer installed by a professional automotive electrician instead. Now, wire number 3 is what you connect to the buzzer and the LED. Wire number 4 goes to your switched ignition. And wire number 5 is the second wire that comes from your relay output, again for your point of immobilization. No, there is no standalone power positive 12-volt wire to connect to this device at all, as it works off a switched ignition source instead. That is common though for a lot of these immobilizer devices to be controlled that way. And that's pretty much all there is to do in regards to wiring up this immobilizer device to your car. Now, how this immobilizer's features work is going to be so much easier to show you rather than explain to you. So with that being said, I'm now going to install this Spy Immobilizer to my car, and then I can physically demonstrate it working to you. So now let's go back to the garage and start the installation. Okay, so here we are back in the garage again. Now, because this immobilizer device supports anti-hijacking, which is one huge benefit of actually using this device, we definitely want to install this device so the anti-hijacking feature works, because yes, it is also possible to install it in a way where the anti-hijacking would not work, but I would highly not recommend doing it that way. Okay, so for the anti-hijacking to work, we have a few options on what we can immobilize on the car, and that would be areas of the car such as the ignition, the fuel supply, oil supply, and the ECU. Now, depending on the car you're installing it on, some of these things will be easier to immobilize on some cars than they are on other cars. You definitely do not want to try and immobilize the factory installed immobilizer or the car starter motor, as the anti-hijacking feature will not work if you do this. For this video demonstration, I'm going to be immobilizing the fuel supply, meaning the fuel pump relay input, which is here inside my fuse box. So now I'm going to remove the fuse box so I can get access to the fuel pump relay wires so I can wire this up. Okay, and now with the fuse box removed, these wires here are the fuel pump relay wires. So I need to immobilize one side of the fuel pump relay coil, and it doesn't matter which side you cut. I've just cut this side here. This is the correct and safest way to immobilize the fuel supply of your car. I do not recommend attempting to try doing this any other way. And again, if you don't know how the fuel supply electrical system or the electrical system of your car in general works, I would highly not recommend you try installing this immobilizer device at all, as wiring up this device incorrectly will not only be dangerous to the operation of your car, which could result in a serious accident occurring, but it could also result in expensive damage being done to your car as well. Any good auto electrician will be able to install this device to your car for you, and in a safe way as well. It's extremely important to remember that immobilizing areas of your car, such as the fuel supply and ignition, will also prevent you from being able to safely control the car as well if it is immobilized while it's moving. So be sensible if you're attempting to install this device yourself. You would not want to lose your ignition or fuel supply when driving at speed on the highway or motorway. Now, to make this installation as secure as possible, I'm also going to wire up all of the other wires of the immobilizer device inside the fuse box as well, just hidden beneath it. This will not only make the installation really easy, yes, but it also keeps everything out of sight from car thieves as well. Now, yes, you do need to install an LED and buzzer as well, and yes, these should really be inside the car, as it's the best place to hear and see them working. However, I'm not going to do that, as I don't want there to be any signs of external wires coming out of the fuse box. as I want this installation to be as secret and hidden as possible. So I'm going to install the LED and buzzer inside the fuse box as well. I've done it this way before, and you can still hear the buzzer inside the car as well. So for me personally, that's all I need. And as for the LED, that will be fine hidden down the side of the fuse box as well. But if you're installing this device yourself, I would recommend installing the LED and buzzer inside the car, not inside the engine bay like I'm doing now. I am also on a time limit with this installation, as I have a really busy week ahead of me with so many other things to do, while at the same time as trying to run this YouTube channel as well. So anyway, now I'm going to finish up wiring the immobilized device, and then we can get to the next stage. Okay, and the wiring is now complete and everything is connected. So I'll just give you a quick explanation once again of how I have wired this up before putting the car back together. This here is the instruction manual, which obviously comes with the device as well. So I've just wired it up exactly how that says. So I've got my LED and my buzzer here. The negative side of the buzzer and the negative side of the LED, that being the cathode, are both connected to wire number 3 of the immobilizer. The positive side of the buzzer and LED I have connected together and attached those to wire number 4 of the immobilizer, which I have also connected to a switch ignition supply in the fuse box. Wire number 1 of the immobilizer is ground, so I have connected that to a chassis ground below my fuse box. And wire number 2 and 5 are the thicker wires and are the immobilizer relay output wires, which I have connected to the wire that I cut at the fuel pump relays coil. So now I'm going to reassemble my car again, and then I can show you exactly how this works. And just as one more important thing to note, when you're installing a device like this, if you are doing it yourself, remember to remove the little stickers, silver stickers with the numbers on the wires after you've installed it, as this just makes it even harder for a car thief to try and bypass if they decided to break into the car, look at the module and say, oh, that's a spy. I know exactly how that works. So if the numbers on the wires are missing, it just makes it a little bit harder as well. Okay, I'll put the car back together now. Okay, so now the car is all back together again, it's time to demonstrate the Spy IM103 Immobiliser system working. So first of all, as you can see, once the immobilizer has been installed and the car is all reassembled, there are no signs anywhere of anything to be seen. And that's exactly how any immobilizer device should be installed, completely out of sight. Now, if you look closely just down here, you will see I have my LED and buzzer just hiding under the battery cable there. So this is how it works. When you are anywhere near your car, and with your transmitter tag as well, when you turn on the ignition, the immobilizer receiver will play a melody sound. And this is very important to listen for because it confirms 3 things with you. 1, the ignition has been turned on. 2, the immobilizer receiver has successfully detected that you have your transmitter tag on you. And 3, because it has detected your transmitter tag, the vehicle can now be successfully started. So I'll demonstrate this for you now. So I'll leave the transmitter tag here on the battery, and then I'll go and turn on the ignition now. Okay, and as you would have heard, the melody sound from the buzzer when I turned on the ignition. So this of course means the immobilizer is not engaged and the car can now be started. Now, if you are anywhere near your car and you don't have your transmitter tag on you at all, when you turn on the ignition, the immobilizer receiver will once again attempt to detect your transmitter tag, and when it realizes that you don't have your transmitter tag on you, after 8 seconds, the immobilizer receiver will start to beep 5 times slowly. And then it will immediately beep another 5 times, but this time quickly, and then the immobilizer will be engaged. These beeps are again very important to listen for because once again it confirms 3 things with you. 1, the ignition has been turned on. 2, the immobilizer receiver has detected that you do not have your transmitter tag on you. And 3, because it has not detected your transmitter tag, it has now immobilized the car. So you will not be able to start the car until the transmitter tag has been detected. I'll demonstrate this for you now as well. So I'm going to leave the transmitter tag here again on the battery, but this time with the battery removed from the transmitter tag so that the immobilizer cannot detect it. And now I'm going to turn on the ignition again. Okay, and as you just heard, the buzzer was beeping and is still beeping when the ignition is turned on. So this means the immobilizer is now engaged, therefore the car cannot be started. Now, of course, an immobilizer device like this does need to be designed to be safe to use as well, and it is. So what happens if you're driving and the battery in the transmitter tag is so low that the immobilizer cannot detect it anymore? Will the car just cut out straight away and die? No. In this situation, it's basically the same procedure as you saw again. Well, very similar anyway. If the transmitter tag battery went flat, the immobilizer receiver would attempt to keep detecting it, even when the car's driving. If it is not able to detect it within 30 seconds, the buzzer will then start to beep for another 25 seconds. If the transmitter tag is still not detected, then the buzzer will then beep 5 times quickly, and then yes, the car will be immobilized and die on the road. I'll just turn the ignition on again so you can get an idea of the situation working. But remember, my buzzer and LED are installed in the fuse box, so you will need to listen closely to the background to hear it, which it is beeping right now. Hopefully you can hear that. Okay. This will also show you why I recommend the LED and buzzer be installed inside the car as well, because it's a lot easier to hear, and obviously I can't see an LED inside the car, but that's not really so important with this device anyway. So I have my transmitter tag sitting up here on my dashboard, and once again with the battery removed. So when the ignition was turned on, as you can see, the immobilizer device cannot find it. So to be able to start and drive the car again, you would need to insert a new battery into the transmitter tag. So in a situation where the transmitter tag battery is low or flat, you have approximately 60 seconds to pull the car over to the side of the road before it becomes immobilized and dies. It should also be noted that even though the anti-hijacking feature is enabled by default with this immobilizer device, it can also be turned off as well if you wish to not use it. So if you just want to use the immobilizer as a standalone immobilizer without the anti-hijacking feature, so for example, if you wanted to use it to immobilize the starter mode or something like that, you can do that. The procedure for doing this, including transmitter programming, password programming, and overriding of the device, is all documented well in the instruction manual, but for security reasons I will not be explaining any of those procedures in this video. So now that I have explained how everything works to you, you should be able to understand how the anti-hijacking feature of this immobilizer device is going to work as well. But if you don't, that's okay, because I'm going to demonstrate that to you right now. First of all though, just in case I have not made it clear to understand, because this does happen sometimes in my videos, yes, this immobilizer device does detect if you have the transmitter tag on you when you are near the vehicle or when you are leaving the vehicle, but it can only do this with the ignition turned on, of course, and this is because the immobilizer device is only powered up off the ignition. It is not constantly powered up off the car's battery all the time like a car alarm is. I know I have already said this already, but I just wanted to repeat it again in case I didn't explain it to you clearly enough. Anyway, so now I am just parked in my car on the side of the road and with the engine running, as you can probably hear in the background. Now, if a car thief approached me with a gun or knife and told me to get out, I would do exactly that, because with the transmitter tag in my pocket, which it normally would be, obviously for this demonstration it's not, but I can't do that, I know my car is not going to get far, even if the thief drives off in it. So anyway, to demonstrate this, I'm just going to now remove the battery from the transmitter tag, and this will simulate me getting out of the car and the car driving away from me, because I obviously can't demonstrate that so easily. So this is the way I'm going to do it for you, so you can see what's happening inside the car at the same time. And this will happen because both those examples, the immobilizer is no longer going to be able to detect the transmitter tag anymore, because if it's on me and I run away, it's not going to be in the car. Okay, so I'm going to remove the battery from the tag now. I'm going to try anyway. Okay, we opened it up. Okay, the battery's out. So I'll put the tag up there, put the battery next to it there. And now, it's fallen on the floor. Okay, and now the immobilizer is going to be beeping in the background, but because my immobilizer is installed in the engine bay with the LED and buzzer, It's going to be very hard for you to hear that now, but believe me, it is beeping in the background right now. You might be able to hear that if you listen really, really closely. So the battery is now removed from the transmitter tag, and the immobilizer is going to start wondering, hey, where's the transmitter tag gone? So after approximately 1 minute of beeping, going through the process that you've already seen before, and trying to search for the transmitter tag and failing to find it, it will then immobilize the car wherever it may be. But doesn't this mean a car thief could drive off in my car and the car would still drive for another 60 seconds before cutting out and dying completely? Yes, it does. But remember, this feature needs to be designed like this for safety. When the ignition is off to start with, the immobilizer of course will engage itself differently. But anyway, your car is not going to get far in 60 seconds. And when it cuts out, it's not going to start again either, because the car thief will not have the transmitter tag. So now I'm just going to wait for it to stop beeping. And you'll see the engine check light come up on my dashboard just here when the fuel pump cuts off, which shouldn't be far away. I can feel, yep, the car's missing now. Okay, and the car's just cut out. Okay, so now my car is completely dead, and you can see the engine check light is on because the car is no longer getting fuel, so it can't continue to run. So I'm going to turn the car off now. And yes, with a lot of modern cars, the engine check light is going to come on in a situation like this. And yes, the majority of the time when this happens, you will need a diagnostic tool to reset this for you. If it's going to be a problem for you, then immobilizing the fuel pump relay may not be the best option for you and your particular car. So, in other words, if you don't have your own diagnostic tool, I wouldn't recommend doing it this way. But like I said, this should be done by a professional. Professional will know exactly what to do on whatever car it is that they're working on. In my case, I don't care. I've got my own diagnostic tools and equipment, so engine check lights do not bother me at all. So, I have to admit, the Spy IM103 Immobiliser does work very well. One thing I like about the Spy products I have tested and used so far over the years is their build quality. It is generally pretty good, and this product is no different either. I've opened up both the transmitter, as you can see, and the receiver. The components and soldering quality are of a high standard, especially when compared to a lot of other similar products. So I award 5 gold stars to Spy for their product build quality. Okay, and that is how the Spy IM103 standalone wireless PKE immobilizer works. So as you have seen, providing you always keep the transmitter tag on you at all times, which is exactly what you should always do, thanks to the anti-hijacking feature of this device, it's actually an incredibly good security device to have installed to any car. Because even if you get pulled out of your car by a car thief and they get in and drive off, because the RFID transmitter tag is still on you and not inside the car is just going to cut out on them a few seconds later anyway. So how is this immobilizer device better than, say, a professional car alarm that is also advertised to support anti-hijacking? Well, that is because generally to activate the anti-hijacking feature of a car alarm, you would need to press a hidden button somewhere inside the car before the car thief steals the car from you. And with this device, you don't need to do that because it's wireless. Also, with a lot of car alarm systems, you need to activate and deactivate the system using a remote control fob as well. And again, with this immobilizer, you don't need to do that either. To make it even easier to understand the benefits of installing an immobilizer device like this to your car, let's say you're sitting in your car at the traffic lights and someone approaches your car, opens the door and puts a gun to your head and tells you to get out. For most people, this would be a really terrifying thing to happen. So you're most likely to just go into shock. So pressing a button to activate the anti-hijacking feature of your car alarm would be the last thing you're going to try and do in the situation. But with this Spy immobilizer device, all you need to do is get out of the car and run for your own safety. The car thief is not going to get far before the car cuts out on them, as they do not have the transmitter tag to override the immobilizer, because you still have it on you. You need to be sensible if you decide to install an immobilizer device like this to your car as well. So that means you need to ensure that the transmitter tag is always kept on you somewhere and at all times. So for example, you should always keep it in your pocket or attach it to one of the belt loops of your pants so it never leaves you. If you were to get into your car, then put the transmitter tag in, say, the center console or the glove box, or just place it on the seat or in your bag, the immobilizer device would be completely useless to you. But of course, that's excluding the car thief, because then he has the transmitter tag to get away with the car. Another benefit of the Spy Immobiliser device itself is the price. At the time of this review, it's only going to cost you about 38 New Zealand dollars. Now that's a really good price because some of these wireless PKE Immobiliser devices are nearly twice that price. In my opinion, aside from your car's factory installed transponder type immobiliser system, a wireless PKE immobiliser system like this is going to be the best type of immobiliser that you could install to your car. And that's for all of the reasons that you have seen in this video. There are honestly no disadvantages I can think of to installing an immobiliser device like this to your car at all, and I would highly recommend it. Even if you already have an immobiliser installed to your car, installing this one as a second immobiliser is also an option worth considering. I now, with this immobiliser device installed to my car, have 3 immobiliser systems, so that would make it a complete nightmare for any car thief. Anyway guys, that now brings us to the end of another video. I have put a link in the description area below for this particular Spy IM103 Immobiliser device, if you are interested in purchasing one of these for yourself. If you liked this video or found it helpful, then please like, share, comment and subscribe to the channel, where you can watch even more videos, which I upload every week, and I hope to see you all in the next video.